Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game with over 100 cards, and 99% of those cards are bad. However, these bad cards still make it into players' Edison format decks every single day. Join me as I dive deep into the abyss of bad card design and put these unloved pieces of cardboard to the ultimate test. 3 duels against random strangers on the internet. At the end of each episode, we'll reveal each card's place on the cursed tech tier list, ranking them from almost competitive to downright unplayable trash. Will we stumble upon a broken combo, invent a new deck, or will we just go insane trying to win a duel using Frog the Jam? You will just have to wait and find out. This is Cursed Tech. Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Cursed
Tech Tuesday.
In this episode, we are looking at the most powerful -3 in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, Montage Dragon.
Montage Dragon 特殊召喚!
Montage Dragon was released in the Duelist Genesis on September 2nd, 2008. Its text reads, "This card cannot be special summoned except by sending 3 other monsters from your hand to the graveyard. This card's attack is equal to the combined levels of the sent monsters times 300. And I know what you guys are thinking. Why are his hands so big? What is he trying to grab? I don't know.
行くぞ! レベル4、レベル3、レベル3以上手札より3枚を墓地に送ってモンタージドラゴンを特殊召喚!
Montage Dragon is used by Tetsu Trudge in his duel against Yusei in the 5Ds anime. And this is the most 5Ds duel of all time. They're just on motorcycles, driving around, having a good time. Trudge sends 3 monsters from his hand to the graveyard in order to make a 3,000 attack Montage Dragon. And yes, you heard me right, 3,000 attack. On this channel, we can do much better. Here is the plan. Now, Montage Dragon might be a -3 to summon, but card advantage does not matter if the game is over. And that is exactly what we are trying to do. So in order to get over that 8,000 attack threshold, we need to send 27 level stars from our hand to the graveyard. And in order to accomplish that goal, we are literally playing the highest starred monsters available in Edison format. Monsters that, truth be told, we can never summon. This includes the all-star Yubel, the Ultimate Nightmare at 12 stars, his younger brother Yubel Terror Incarnate at 11 stars, and I am not joking, Gate Guardian at 11 stars. We play 3 Gate Guardian in this deck. This deck plays 3 Gate Guardian. All you need to do is send 3 monsters from your hand to the graveyard, summon the Montage Dragon, and attack for game. No, it's really that simple. That's all you need to do. You summon him, you attack, you win. So the plan is very simple, and you're probably thinking, how are we going to make that work in Edison format? Introducing Montage Mash. Behold my Montage Dragon deck profile. As you can see, we are playing Monster Mash. Monster Mash is a rogue strategy at best in Edison format that relies on 2 main cards to put it over the top. These cards are Witch of the Black Rose, which on normal summon, if the top card of your deck is a monster, lets you go +1, and Gallus the Star Beast, which if the top card of your deck is a monster, it can burn your opponent and special summon itself. These elements synergize greatly with Montage Dragon because Witch can get you 1 step closer to Montage Dragon, and Gallus is turned into the most unbelievable burn card of all time. You see, Gallus burns based on the level of the monster that is milled, and this deck plays a lot of high level monsters. If you mill a Yubel the Ultimate Nightmare off of Gallus, you burn your opponent for 2,400 damage. If you mill the Terror Incarnate, 2,200 damage. Besides Montage Dragon, Gallus is easily the next best card in this deck. Also, a Monster Mash strategy is great with Montage Dragon because it needs to discard specifically monsters. You don't want your hand to be clogged with spells and traps that take you 1 step further away from your win condition. And believe me, in this deck, Montage Dragon is the win condition. And as you can see in true Montage fashion, this deck is arranged in descending level star order. Let me tell you about the card by card. First up, we have the best card in the deck, Yugioh, the Ultimate Nightmare. This card is the best card because it is the only 12-star monster available to us in Edison format. This alongside his younger brother, Yugioh Terra Incarnate, coming in at a crisp 11 stars, alongside, come on, you know you want to build this deck. You know you want to play a deck that runs 3 Gate Guard. I know you do. Next up, we descend down to 10 stars in the Searchable Machine of Force. This card is a level 10 that is a free fortress summon from the graveyard. It's a machine and it's a high level. And a lot of times, that's all you need. Next up, we're playing Tragodia. This hand trap pretty much makes it into every single deck I play, but is especially good in Montage Dragon because it has 10 stars. Another all-star is Cyber Eltonin. Not only is this a level 10 monster, but it is also a machine that can revive Fortress from the graveyard. It can also be just used for its normal effect. If you have any light machines in your graveyard, you can special summon it and send all face-up monsters on the field to the graveyard. Dropping down to 8 stars, we have the Montage Dragon himself. I do want to mention Montage Dragon is a special summon. A lot of OTK strategies require your normal summon, and this deck is very interesting because it does not. Next up, the secondary boss monster of the deck that probably will win you half of your games is Machine of Fortress. This card is a menace, and in a deck that plays 6 ways to revive it from the graveyard, you are going to be using this card a lot. It scores, it's Monster Mash, we can't play traps. Cyber Dragon, which is a machine that synergizes with Fortress, a light machine that synergizes with Eltonin, and is not a bad card to run in Monster Mash decks because it is a easy special summon. Now we get into some plus ones. Machine of Gear Frame is the best normal summon in this deck. On summon, it can add Fortress from your deck to your hand, or if you have Montage Dragon in your hand, it can add a level 10 monster. Witch of the Black Rose, as you know, is at its best in this deck. Easy plus 1, also a tuner, incredible card. Cyber Valley is great because you can special summon the Gallus, burn your opponent for however much damage, normal summon the Cyber Valley, and use Cyber Valley's second effect to banish both and draw 2 cards. This can either draw you into a Montage Dragon, which will lead you to an OTK, or it can get you into a well-needed piece of spell trap removal in Cold Wave and Giant Trunade. Let's get into the duels. This first duel, we are up against Chaos Plants, and our opponent is going first. They're going to normal summon a Dimensional Alchemist and pass the turn back to us. We're going to special summon a Montage Dragon from our hand, sending 3 monsters, go to the battle phase, and they're dead. This next duel, we are up against Frogs, and we are going first. We draw for turn, and pass the turn back to our opponent. Our opponent is going to normal summon a Substitute, send that Substitute to summon a Swap Frog from the deck, use that Swap Frog to send a Treeborn Frog, return Swap Frog to the hand, set 1 card, and pass the turn. We are going to activate Cold Wave at the start of main phase 1. Then we are going to send 3 cards from our hand to the graveyard to special summon Montage Dragon, and they're dead. This next duel, we are up against Gadgets, and we are going first. We're going to normal summon a Cyber Valley and then pass the turn to our opponent. Our opponent is going to special summon a main deck Cyber Dragon, then normal summon a red Gadget, search a Gadget from their deck, and then contact Fuse using our machine monster and their Cyber Dragon into a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. They go to the battle phase, attack us for some damage, and then pass the turn. We draw for turn, and they're dead. This next duel, we are up against Frogs, and we are going first. We're going to draw for turn and pass our turn. Our opponent is going to normal summon a Substitute, special summon a Swap Frog from the deck. That Swap Frog is going to send a Treeborn Frog, and then they're going to attack us for 1,000 life points. They bounce the Swap Frog back to hand and pass their turn. We draw for turn, and they're dead. Main deck Battle Fate. They're playing Battle Fate. They are in fact not dead. They draw for turn. They are then going to attribute this Battle Fater to summon a Caius the Shadow Monarch. They banish our Montage Dragon, go to the battle phase, attack for 24, and we drop a Gorz, the Emissary of Darkness. We draw for turn. We're going to switch our Gorz to attack and then activate the effect of Gallus the Star Beast. This mills a Montage Dragon, which will deal 1,600 damage to our opponent. Then we're going to activate yet another Gallus the Star Beast. This one mills a level 10, so that's going to deal another 2,000. Then we're going to go to the battle phase, and they're dead. 3,600 points of burn. What the F?
This next duel, we are up against 6 Samurai, and we are going second. Our opponent normal summons a Thunder King Ryo, sets one back row, and passes the turn. We go to main phase 1, normal summon a Cyber Valley, and then pass the turn to our opponent. They draw, go to the battle phase, attack into our Cyber Valley, and we can activate Cyber Valley's effect to banish itself and draw 1 card. Our opponent passes the turn to us. We're then going to special summon a Cyber Dragon from our hand. Our opponent is then going to activate Bottomless Trap Hole, but that's no problem because we have yet another Cyber Dragon. Our opponent is then going to activate the effect of Thunder King Ryo to negate that special summon, and now we can normal summon a Machina Gear Frame. This will let us search our deck for a Machina Fortress. We can then special summon that Machina Fortress by discarding a machine monster, go to the battle phase, attack our opponent for 1800 and 2500. We then pass the turn to our opponent. They draw for turn, normal summon a 6 Samurai Iru, special summon a Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai from their hand, go to the battle phase, attack over our Machina Gear Frame, and activate Book of Moon in order to set our fortress, which can be attacked over by this Iru. This Iru will activate its effect because he has another 6 Samurai monster, and it will not let us destroy a card with the fortress because fortress has to be killed by battle. They go to main phase 2 and pass the turn to us. We draw a Battle Fader for a turn, and we pass the turn to our opponent. Our opponent draws for turn, normal summons yet another 6 Samurai, and this is a Zanji. They go to the battle phase, attack us for 1700, 2100, and then we decide to drop the Gores. This Gores will have a 2100 attack token. They're then going to attack into our Gores with the Zanji. That Zanji can protect itself by destroying the Iroh instead of itself, and our Gores will be destroyed due to the Zanji's effect. We draw for turn, and we draw a Montage Dragon. Just in time. We are going to go to main phase 1, discard 3 monsters to special summon that Montage Dragon from the hand. We discarded 24 level stars, so that Montage Dragon is sitting at a clean 7,200 attack. We are then going to go into the battle phase, attack into the Grandmaster for game.
And now the moment you have all been waiting for, the Cursed Tech tier list. When I first looked at Montage Dragon, I was like, this card is unplayable. This card is a terrible Yu-Gi-Oh card. This card is bad. And then I started dueling with it, and I started winning. I kept winning and winning, and I played 12 games with this deck, and I won 11 games. 11 games with Montage Dragon. And you want to see the game I lost? The one game I lost with Montage Dragon was against Gravekeepers. And they drew Royal Tribute. They drew Royal Tribute against the Monster Mash deck. That's the only game I lost. Surprisingly, this deck functions like a well-oiled machine. And I know that is a horrifying statement when you're looking at the 12 bricks that this deck plays, until you realize the bricks are the win condition. You love to see a handful of bricks because that just means your Montage Dragon's gonna be huge. You're gonna have a good game. And you guys already know what I'm going to say, but I'm just gonna say it one more time. Card advantage does not matter if the game is over. And with Montage Dragon, oh boy, the games end quickly. Which is why, to my own shock and horror and dismay, I'm putting Montage Dragon in competitive. I'm sorry, this deck has 3 main things going for it. First of all, it is filled with pluses. Your normal summons are Gear Frame, which Gallus into normal summon Cyber Valley, draw 2. Everything you're doing that is not the OTK is getting you closer to doing the OTK. Second, your opponent will not know you are going for the kill. If any deck has a surprise factor, it is this deck. And lastly, Montage Dragon is everything you want in an OTK strategy. You don't need your opponent to have a monster with 1800 attack like Fish OTK, and unlike a lot of aggressive strategies like Vayu Turbo and Welladad, it is a kill by itself. This means Montage Dragon can play around Gores and track. I honestly, I cannot believe this episode. This episode has been so much fun to make, and I'm just happy that it's not like Montage Dragon is slotted into a level 8 strategy. In this deck, Montage Dragon is the star of the show, and it works. It works so well. You can just turn your brain off, summon him and attack, and honestly, I'm gonna have to build this deck in paper because A somewhat competitive deck that runs 3 Gate Guardian. You're winning with Gate Guardian. I don't think Gate Guardian's ever won. Do you know how much this means? And before we end the episode, why don't we do one last Soviet montage of the memories that we had along the way. Enjoy.
Go to the battle phase, and they're dead.
Good afternoon, proletariat.
And they're dead. And they're dead.
Yugioh revolution.
And they're dead. And they're dead.
State-appropriated recording closet.
Main deck battle phase. They're not dead. Then we're gonna go to the battle phase, and they're dead.
Montage Dragon is used in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime by Tutsei Tetsu Trudge in his duel against Yusei.
What the freak?